Well, here we are 1 year later, and I can tell this juicy, heartbreaking story, or that we're going exactly continuing according plan, but both are not true. And I can keep it just very simply. Life happens, nature happens, some stupid mistakes, bureaucracy. So, to be honest, we didn't get as far as I hoped to, but we did get some things done on the land and with the renovation of the ruin. And in this episode, I'm going to take you through all the things that happened last year. So it's going to be a quick, juicy video with all the updates. And as of now, we're going to start with the project with big steps and a lot further. But first, let me show you what happened last year. Full of enthusiasm, I started last year in the beginning of spring, living with my family in a beautiful caravan of kips. We arrived in the last weeks of winter with still some snow on the lands. The first little project we did was removing the roof tiles and finding a good team of workers to start the renovation with. And I couldn't wait and wanted to plant our first fruit trees. Hello! It's a special day because tomorrow the works are gonna start and I'm pretty excited, and this is probably the final chance I got to film it in this condition. So I thought, I don't know which footage I'm gonna use, but I thought let's just film and see, and yeah, there are still a lot of things I would love to show you. And yeah, we're gonna work with workers. Let's be honest, I'm not a builder, and the foundation and the structure needs serious work. And I'm not want to make mistakes over there. So that's gonna be all paid workers. And after that, it's do it yourself. So let's step inside. And I have to watch out a bit. And yeah, final shots of the inside. And if you look at the wall and the doorway, it's beautiful. And here, I mean, where do you see this? Like the amount of layers of plasterwork. It's amazing. And I still find it pretty hard to believe that this is actually ours, that I bought this piece of land and that we're renovating it. And yeah, of course it's a long-term project, and yeah, this year the outside, the foundation, everything will be ready, and then the rest, the inside, the interior, we will be starting designing and putting things in place and doing a lot of work ourselves. And There are so many good craftsmanships over here, especially in Nixix, which is quite clear and close by. Nearby they have these woodworkers and metal workers. Our neighbor is amazing with wood, and his uncle makes these beautiful old windows and the shutters and the doors, really old traditional style, and that's what we're gonna do. And I really love the idea that we can really work with the locals, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. And the bears and the lynxes, they are in far more north. Here do not live the bears. So the only worry that's left are the snakes. And yeah, snakes are here. We've seen one on this property up until now. But today actually a cat arrived, and cats make sure those snakes get away. And I asked actually the neighbor, and he said, well, if you have a cat, you don't have to worry about anything. One of the first little projects as a family was creating a little greenery. One for me to start my seedlings. It wasn't the best one, we found out, but it did work. My first attempt of growing vegetables. I never really did anything like this before, but I find it so exciting to grow our own food. Wood, the wood from the roof where the roof tiles were on. So our first real project here. Here we have the crew, led by the master Mirko. To be honest, Mirko stole our hearts. A true craftsman, skilled and experienced, but above all kind and loving. He feels like family, and I only wish I could speak his language. I know he has so much wisdom to share, and I have so many things to ask about life and about nature. You can see in his eyes he has lived more than one life. I hope one day I can talk with him in his language. It has become one of my life goals. But the first steps of the crew was further taking down the roof structure and assess the state of the walls and the foundation. It was a job not easy, and with the rotten beams not without risk. One I was a bit nervous about, but not necessary at all. The master knew what he was doing. And we were all excited to start the real works. But then nature happened. It started to rain. And it kept on raining for weeks after weeks. We did the jobs that could be done, which was cleaning out the ruin. Not the most exciting one or motivating, as the ruin got to be less and less and less.
So we've taken out all the stuff that's small stones and the old plasterwork, and we've put it down here. We're actually making like a little path towards the other side, and this is gonna be an outside area for the villa, and we're gonna create a natural swimming pool down here, and then you're walking through the fruit tree guilds that will come there, fruit tree forest. But that's a long-term plan, but I'm gonna show you. And this will become the area for the natural swimming pool underneath this very old pear tree. And this pear tree is a symbol of home to me. Like, it looks like nothing grows here. And it's really hard to let things grow here because you have a lot of rock and limestone. So all the water gets instantly drawn back into the ground. But if a pear tree like this can stand here for, I think it's a couple of 100 years old, then I will be able to build this as well. And I think it's all about water retention and water harvesting and making sure you come through the drought period. And there falls so much rain here, especially during the winter and during the spring and autumn. So if you can capture all of that, then you have enough storage to survive. So yeah, we just have to be really smart. And yeah, I would love to show that it's still possible, and I hope I can inspire others, especially the younger generations, to come back. It's so beautiful here. It's raw, it's rough, and of course there are snakes, and it's wild, and there are a lot of bushes and a lot of things to do. But then again, all things that come easy, are they really beautiful? I think the things that come hard and where you have to work for are the things that have meaning and are beautiful. Suddenly, we needed to buy a lot of concrete and materials. We just didn't fully understand, and then translation issue arrived. The builders wanted to work with inner concrete walls. That is how they do things here. A quick fix to fixate the walls and rebuild them, as most needed serious work, especially the wall at the back. But we wanted to work as less as possible with concrete and want to stick to the traditional craftsmanship. In their mind, there was only one way: taking all the walls down and rebuilding them, which would take ages and cost a lot of money. After several sessions, we found a solution. We only take down the parts of the walls that need to be restructured, and the rest we clean them, fill them up with mortar, and finally add the joints. They will primarily use traditional materials and craftsmanship, as Mirko really knows how to keep the old characteristics of a building. So everyone was happy. So that is how it started. But then again, the rain came, so they couldn't continue with the walls. So they started with the inside structure and plumbing. So our mission today, or tonight better said, with the sunset, is making a table from the old wood of the roof. And Benjamin is repairing his scooter with WD-40, DD-40 as we say in Dutch. So Gerard and I are going to see if we can make a beautiful table. And then we have some guests coming over, so that will be amazing to sit outside on an old wooden table. Are we going to make a beautiful table over here? With old heat-treated wood. we can hear the cowbells. They are the cows from our neighbor, Nicola, which is a great guy. But I'm not so happy with the cows today. They ate all my tulips and one attacked one of my blueberry bushes. So my test failed if I could make a mental barrier with all the branches. But let's see if we can capture them on camera. They are around here somewhere. Je wil gewoon focus. Zie je?
So today I'm cleaning up my little greenery, and I'm gonna put some new plants in it. I think I'm a little bit late for the growing season, but then again, this whole first year is about exploring the lands, getting used to farming, to growing vegetables. I made a lot of mistakes, plants died, but I'm enjoying the process. And yeah, for the rest of today, I'm gonna build a new raised garden bed here on the top. These are more, yeah, I'm gonna plant all the vegetable things that I have right now, but these are actually more the ornamental, temporary garden beds. And yeah, we've been doing a lot together with Michael and Mirko. So the house is evolving also, but we're struggling with the weather. Again, a lot of rain. But I'm gonna continue with this project.
And while it kept on raining, I was practicing my gardening skills. Never in my life I really grow my own vegetables. I really had no idea what I was doing, and that showed. I was nervous with planting seeds, and I used way too many seeds in one tray. It was still far too cold in the night, and the little greenery needed insulation to get the seeds germinated. And it was also high, so too little light came in and I got leggy seedlings. But I did get seedlings, and they were still quite resilient. I made my own raised garden beds, but used too many manure from the ruin, and so my radishes never became, well, radish. But I did get my first tomatoes, rucola, broad beans, peas, courgettes, pumpkin, cosmos flowers, and I found out that the estate is filled with fruit trees, only not bearing any fruit. Something to figure out as well. And as I continued on the land, I also realized that I needed probably a year to really understand the land and know what to do with it, especially as I have no experience at all.
Het gaat hier heel lang worden.
Mag jij één zonnebloem doen? Even wachten. Handje ophouden.
Ik wil één zon.
Gooi ze er maar gewoon overheen. Gooi ze maar over het gedeelte. Super, dankjewel.
Ik heb schoon. En lekker een beetje wind, mama. En lekker een beetje wind.
Super, Ben.
At first, a detailed floor plan was all we needed. At least that's what we understood from the builders. A little translation issue again. We needed for renovating a house an architectural project plan, probably also approved by municipality. So we went looking for an architect, while in the same time we continued with the foundations. And as my vision was quite different than they ever heard of, I wanted to work with a sunken seating area and bathroom. It was quite a challenge to convince them of my ideas, especially as where I planned the bathroom there was a huge rock. Words like impossible and dynamite were thrown in the mix. And let's put it like this, with some typical Balkan vigor and emotional intensity. I was quite impressed and got a little nervous, but now I understand this is how they talk. They are very passionate and clear, and I actually learned to, well, not love it, but let's say appreciate it. And I have to be honest, the people here are incredible kind, and the builders have stolen my heart. With one of my newfound friends here in Montenegro, and also an amazing talented interior designer Anja. together we made from my little sketches a great interior plan. We are so blessed with the people surrounding us and helping us bringing this project on to life. I can't express this too much. And in the next episode I will show you a glimpse of the future and of her beautiful creations. And as you can see, finally summer arrived. With sunny days, they continued on the walls all by hand. It took quite some time as I wanted to lower the windows in the front. We needed to find additional stones surrounding the windows. And of course, I wanted traditional ones, the old ones, and not the new ones made look old. And then it was time to look at for what kind of wood we wanted to use for the roof structure. And we needed to have the architectural drawings. Especially as we haven't decided yet on a green roof, which would mean a totally different weight and structure would be needed for the roof. And there, bureaucracy kicked in and a little mistake. We overstayed our visa, had to leave the country, our funds from a Dutch bank and transfers to Montenegro were flagged, as Montenegro would be a terrorist country, the audacity of white premises. Here there's honor, respect, brotherhood, and still a sense of community and social control. Something in the Netherlands that got lost in time. And this is also one of the reasons why we like it here. But then on top, we had a personal, quite huge financial setback. So everything got put on hold and time passed by. It broke my heart to see the plan slowly take over parts of the build. But I knew, next year we will continue and this project will come alive. Funny how the first stages of any restoration are about breaking down before the building up starts again. And of course it's totally logical, but it feels like going backwards. Just like in life, you have to take a few steps back to propel again in the future. Although nothing really went according to plan, we lost a lot of time and we got stuck. I am so grateful for this year. A year filled with beautiful memories and me also getting the time to recover after the birth of my little daughter, who wasn't even 3 months old when we started the project. Next year, I'm excited to see what she will bring.
And here we are. Now it's springtime. Temperatures drop still, sometimes below zero during the night, so we can't start any further with the building stuff. But I did start, you can see my hands are a little bit dirty, with the preparations for the farm to table garden, what will come here, which will be a direct resource for the little restaurant that will be established over there in the other ruin in the coming years. And I'm super excited about the farm to table garden. That's also why we have this little temporary greenhouse here. Yes, it's temporary. I'm drawing out now a bigger one that I want to stand here and it will keep here on the property. But as it's a colder climate here, I want to have a head start at the season, at the growing season. So I'm already starting my first seedlings. But more on that in the other episodes that are coming. And here it's going to be this huge farm to table garden, but the ground needs to be elevated. We need to add some juicy, healthy soil, and that we'll be doing in the coming weeks actually. So I'm extremely excited. I'm thankful that you're still here, that you didn't give up on me after being silent for a year, and I hope to see you next week. And please drop me in the comments if you've seen something during this time-lapse video of last year which you would like me to dive into and explain a little bit more. And for now, have an amazing day and see you soon.